Welcome back, everyone. Next week, a big change is coming to how the federal government regulates e-cigarettes. And here to explain is Mitch Zeller. He's the director of the FDA Center for Tobacco Products. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, our pleasure. Well, here in Central Texas and really all over the state, cities have their own regulations when it comes to e-cigarettes. Explain to our viewers why there needs to be a federal oversight when it comes to that.
Sure. We have a national problem. There's been a 900% increase in just 5 years in kids' use of e-cigarettes. And it's not just e-cigarettes that we're going to start regulating next week. It's also cigars and hookah. And right now, more boys light up a cigar every day than light up a cigarette. So it's a national problem when it comes to kids' use of tobacco products. And starting next Monday, we will be enforcing the law that makes it illegal to sell those products to kids in all states.
And what is your advice for those who do sell electronic cigarettes on this message that you're telling them today?
My message is these remain lawful products to sell to adults, but nobody should be selling any of these products to kids. Kids should not be experimenting with putting nicotine into their lungs. This is not about the harm reduction debate about should cigarette smokers who are adults switch to e-cigarettes. This is keeping dangerous and harmful tobacco products out of the hands of kids by enforcing a law that makes it illegal to sell those products to kids.
Why do you think it's taken so long for this kind of regulation? Was there just a time when we weren't sure if e-cigarettes were safe, or what's the process of finally doing something like this?
The process is what we call rulemaking. Congress passed a law back in 2009 that put FDA in the business of regulating cigarettes and smokeless tobacco and gave us the authority through rulemaking to extend regulation to other categories of products. We issued a proposed rule for e-cigarettes, cigars, and hookah in 2014. We announced the final rule a couple of months ago, and these youth access restrictions go into effect starting next week. We think that it would have been better if it could have happened earlier, but here we are taking a very important step forward to protect kids.
And can you explain to our viewers just the effects this kind of cigarette could have on a young person?
Sure. Again, if there's an addicted adult cigarette smoker who's thinking of switching to e-cigarettes, that's an entirely different matter. No kid should be inhaling nicotine and putting it into their lungs. Nicotine is addictive, and kids should simply not be exposed to it. The fact that for a smoker an e-cigarette might be less harmful than a cigarette is irrelevant to the discussion about protecting kids from the harms of any tobacco product. Nicotine is addictive. Kids should not become addicted to nicotine, and they shouldn't be inhaling it into their lungs.
So regulating it is one thing, but enforcing it is another. Are you certain that we have enough resources to go ahead and make sure that shops are in compliance?
Yes, we have been enforcing this provision for cigarettes and smokeless tobacco for the last 6 years. We do that through contracts that we have with 56 different states and territories. We've done over 500,000 of these unannounced inspections where trained and commissioned kids and adults go in to the stores. The kid tries to buy a pack of cigarettes or a tin of smokeless tobacco. We've done over 500,000 of these. We've initiated enforcement actions and collected fines from thousands of retailers who have illegally sold to kids. So we will hit the ground running with e-cigarettes, cigars, and hookah next week.
Okay, Mitch Zeller, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Best of luck.